Hey, what's up everyone? John Hoy Physio here in Markham. Good to catch you guys for another video. Today we'll be talking about the McGregor-Poirier fight that happened last night and the horrific way which it ended. So just viewer discretion is advised before we go any further. Make sure your kids aren't around, as I don't think this is appropriate for kids. It's pretty bad. This is just a little fight recap of the first round. The fight ended in the first round with Poirier defeating McGregor via medical stoppage. Initially, McGregor was doing a ton of damage, I think, to Poirier's leg, his lead foot, which would be his right leg, because Poirier is a southpaw. McGregor stepped back, and it looked like his ankle broke and his leg broke, and he fell backwards. So that's the end of that. That's the end of the fight, honestly. We'll just skip to the next frame here, but you'll see that as he lands back into that back left leg, which he's been kicking Poirier with, he gets that terrible gruesome injury which we saw last night, and you can see the top view of this as well. Just horrific, just terrible. So we'll take a quick look at the anatomy here. This is the tibia, which is the main weight-bearing bone of the body, of the lower leg, sorry, and it's a lot thicker, you can see, right, obviously. And this beside it is the fibula. So this is actually the left side. The fibula is always on the outside of the tibia. This is an x-ray, not of Conor's x-ray, obviously. I'm not privy to those kind of details. And this is of someone else's right leg, actually, because this is the fibula on the outside. But anyways, you can see that both fibula and tibia here, there's a fracture. What happens medically? Like, what are these guys doing here? It was pretty chaotic. It looked like McGregor was still yelling at Poirier. I thought this was really poor sportsmanship on both their parts. I heard some mentions of each other's wives and things like that, and I'm like, dude, McGregor, like, Conor, you're not going anywhere tonight. He's talking about going to the club, and you know, he's still a showman at the end of the day. But I mean, the guy was going to the hospital. I was telling my wife was sitting beside me. She wasn't looking at the TV at all, but I was telling her, like, what is this guy going on about? Just yelling and yelling. I mean, he's on the ground with a broken leg. He's going to hospital and getting surgery, not going to the club with Poirier's wife. But anyways, the doctor here, you can see what's happening is that he's actually stabilizing his left leg. So you see that gloved hand right here. He's making sure that Conor doesn't move it anymore or try to stand up, because that's actually quite dangerous if he does. There's a lot of nerves and vascular structures in here, so he has to make sure that those stay intact, or else it makes his recovery a lot harder in the future for Conor. And you'll just see here that they made a makeshift splint for him, the paramedics. They did a great job last night with the doctors. Yeah, you'll see the splint. Conor's in obviously quite a bit of agony, so I feel sorry for the guy for sure. And you'll see him being wheeled off here as well. You know, a lot of people will ask, oh, why did Conor not feel so much pain? Well, it's probably because of his adrenaline, and this guy takes a lot of pain. So, you know, shout out to him for maintaining most of his composure at least. So the physio side of things, well, after surgery, like, what happens to Conor now? What happens moving forward? So obviously he's got to get that leg stabilized. Most likely he spent the night in hospital after emergency surgery. He probably got something that looked like this, or maybe with a rod in between or some screws on the side, as well as his fibula, depending on how bad it was broken. Most of the time it's like that. Otherwise, the doctors can just kind of put the bones together in the cast. But he likely needs an open reduction internal fixation, which is just short, we call it ORIF in the hospital. And you know, I see tons of these as well. They're pretty difficult to heal from, but I think with an elite athlete such as Conor, he can make a pretty good comeback. So yeah, so he'll get surgery. He'll be in a cast for a few weeks. Usually about 6 weeks, and then in a boot for about another 6 weeks, where he'll gradually increase his weight bearing, and then to the point where he can get back to putting weight on it fully without the boot and without the cast. So it depends. Everyone's a little bit different, but an elite athlete such as Conor should make a pretty quick recovery, hopefully. You know, and then physio after obviously, where we'll work on a lot of range of motion, strengthening, and making sure he gets that bone density back and he doesn't re-break it, hopefully. What's his future outlook, guys? Like, what's his future outlook look like? It doesn't look good, because if you remember, you know, Conor's he's not 21. If you remember also another great in the sport, Anderson Silva, he had a similar leg break, kind of in the similar position as well, not necessarily near the ankle, but I think a little bit higher as well, and same as Conor. So he never came back the same. So I think we'll be seeing more of that realistically, but you know, the optimist inside of me likes to see the showman part of Conor come back if he can, but we'll definitely see. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking a look at my video here. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this was interesting to you. Please let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to cover. Again, like, subscribe, share this with your friends and family if you want. Okay, take care, guys. Thanks. Peace.